Hello everyone, this video will cover notes for section 3.2. Let's begin. The first problem, what is the slope of the line? And you're given the equation of the line, 2x plus 3y equals 12. In order to find the slope, let's remember that the slope is the variable m when your equation is written in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. When we convert an equation to slope-intercept form, we have y by itself on the left side of that equal sign. That allows us to see the slope as being the number in front of x. So that's what we want to do. First, we want to solve for y. That means get y by itself. So in this equation, we're going to subtract 2x from both sides first. When we subtract 2x, on the left side, we have 3y. Carry down your equal sign. And on the right side of the equation, we have that minus 2x plus 12. Now we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 3. And when we do that, 3's will cancel on the left side, leaving y. Carry down our equal sign. And here on the right side, we're dividing both of these terms by 3. So this becomes negative 2/3 x. And 12 divided by 3 gives us 4. So what is our slope? It's negative 2/3. This number that's in front of x. The next problem, what is the formula for the area of a triangle? And then we're going to solve that formula for b. So the formula for the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. 1/2, this b stands for base, h stands for height. Now when we solve this equation for b, you see where b is, it's on the right side of that equal sign. So we need to get rid of the terms that are surrounding b. Right now we're multiplying by 1/2 and we're multiplying by h. So to get rid of this 1/2, we would take the reciprocal and multiply both sides of the equation by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/2 is 2. 2 over 1. So we're going to multiply that reciprocal 2 by both sides of the equation. Now when we do that, the 1/2 and the 2 will cancel, leaving BH on the right side of the equal sign, and on the left side, 2 times A gives us 2A. Now we're going to divide both sides of the equation by H. The H will cancel on the right side of the equal sign, leaving B, and on the left side, we have 2A divided by H. Now you're done once you get B by itself. What is the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle? So we have an example of a rectangle here where our short sides are our width, that W stands for width. The long side is the length. And remember, in rectangles, the opposite sides are equal. So L and L, W and W, they're opposite each other and they're equivalent. To find the perimeter, you add all 4 of the sides. You would add all 4 sides. The length plus the width plus the length plus the width. You'd add all 4 of these sides. And if we add all 4 sides, W plus L plus W plus L, we see we have 2 W's and 2 L's. So that formula to find the perimeter of a rectangle is just 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And then we're asked to solve this equation for L. We want to get L by itself on the right side of that equal sign. So first we're going to subtract 2W from both sides of the equation. Now when we do that, the 2 W's would cancel on the right side, leaving 2L. Carry down your equal sign. And on the left side, remember we had P, and now P minus the 2W. Lastly, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 2. The 2's will cancel on the right side, leaving L equals P minus 2W divided by 2. Now, this is one way that you can write this solution. Another way that you can write it, you could separate these two fractions. Both of these terms are being divided by 2. So you can place your p over 2 in this manner, and then minus that 2w divided by 2. That would cancel out the 2's, leaving minus w if you separate the term. So either of these formats would work. For the next problem, we're solving for x. We have 7 times 2x minus 5y. We need to distribute this 7. So 7 times 2x gives us 14x. 7 times minus 5y gives us negative 35y. Carry down our equal sign and the 2x. Now we need to combine the like terms. We have this 2x on the right side. We're going to subtract 2x from both sides of the equation so we can combine it with the 14x on the left. The 35y, we have a minus 35y on the left side. We're going to move that term to the right. So we're going to add 35y to both sides of the equation. Now, when we do that, on the left side of the equation, you have 14x minus 2y. That gives us 12y. On the right side, we have the 2x's that canceled, and that leaves us with 35y. Now remember, our goal was to get x by itself. So now we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 12. And when we do that, the 12's will cancel, leaving x equals 35y divided by 12. Or you can separate these terms and write it as 35 over 12 times y. Either of these formats would work. Okay, the next example, we're solving for h. So we want to get h by itself. We have s equals 2 pi rh. Now, since we want to get h by itself, and we're multiplying h times 2 pi and r, we'll do the opposite of multiplying by 2 pi and r, which is to divide both sides by 2 pi and r. The 2, the pi, and the r will cancel, leaving h on the right side. And on the left side, we have s divided by 2 pi r. All right, the next problem, we're solving for a. And we have 2 plus 5a plus b divided by 3 equals 8. So we'll start by getting rid of this denominator. Since we're dividing by 3, the opposite would be to multiply all terms by 3. So everything on the left side, we're multiplying by 3, and everything on the right side, we're multiplying by 3. On the left side, when we multiply 3 times this term, that just cancels out the 3 in the denominator, leaving the numerator. So 2 plus 5a plus b, we carry those terms down. Carry down your equal sign. On the right side of the equal sign, 3 times 8 gives us 24. Now we want to combine like terms. Remember, our goal is to solve for a. So to get rid of this b term, we're going to subtract b from both sides of the equation. To get rid of the 2, it's a positive 2, so we're going to subtract 2 from both sides of the equation. So we have 5a that's left on the left side, carry down our equal sign. On the right side, we have this 24 minus 2 minus b. And 24 minus 2 gives us 22, minus the b. Lastly, we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 5. The 5's will cancel, leaving a equals 22 minus b divided by 5. Now, when you're converting from standard equations, for example, if you have y equals mx plus b, and you're asked to write the equation in function form, all you have to do is substitute f of x for y. So function form of this same equation, instead of y on the left side, you would write f of x. The right side of the equation will stay the same. So it'll still be mx plus b. So you're asked to solve each of these equations for y, get y by itself, and then you're asked to write the answers using function notation, which means substitute f of x for y. So first we'll solve for y. Given this equation 2x minus 5y equals 10, we're going to add the 5y to both sides of the equation. So we're bringing our y term over here to the right side so that it could be positive, because right now it's a negative 5y. The 10 we're going to move to the left side of the equation. We're going to subtract 10 from both sides of the equation here. Now when we do that, the negative 5x plus 5x, that cancels. The 10's cancel. On the right side, we have 5y. Carry down our equal sign. On the left side, we have 2x minus 10. Now we're going to divide both sides of the equation by 5 so we can get y by itself. Now when we do that, the 5's will cancel on the right side, leaving y. Carry down our equal sign. And on the left side, 2/5, 2x divided by 5, that gives us 2/5 x. And then negative 10 divided by 5 gives us negative 2. So now we have y by itself. And remember, to change this to function form, we're just going to replace the y with f of x. So we would write it as f of x equals 2/5 x minus 2. The next example, we have 5y divided by 7 equals x. Now remember, we're trying to solve for y, so we'll first get rid of this denominator. We're dividing by 7, so we're going to multiply both sides of the equation by 7. And when we do that, the 7's will cancel on the left side, leaving 5y. On the right side, we'd have 7x. Then we divide both sides of the equation by 5. We'll get y equals 7/5 x. And changing that equation to function form, we're substituting f of x for y. So we'll have f of x is equal to 7/5 x, or if you want to write it together, combine your numerators, 7x divided by 5. All right, the next example, we're solving for y again. We have 8x equals 2 pi y. So to get y by itself, we need to get rid of these two terms that are in front. We're multiplying by 2 and pi. So the opposite will be to divide both sides of the equation by 2 and pi. And when we do that, the 2's will cancel, the pi will cancel, leaving y. On the right side, carry down our equal sign. And on the left side, we have 8x divided by 2 pi. Now, this 8x divided by 2 pi, 8 divided by 2 can be simplified. So 8 divided by 2 gives us 4. The x remains in the numerator, the pi remains in the denominator. And now we'll just change this equation to function form, substituting f of x for y. So we'll have f of x equals 4x divided by pi. All right, so we're going to work on a word problem here. You just want to remember that when you're working with word problems, you want to first define your variable. If you're discussing a term that doesn't have a representation, you're going to define what that variable is and then solve for the variable. In this case, we have a number. We don't know what that number is. So we use x to represent the number. You're told what to do with that number. It's divided by 8, and it equals the number increased by 2. So every time you see the number or a number, you're going to substitute x. So a number, x, is divided by 8, and it equals the number x increased by 2. So here we have x divided by 8 on the left side. Here's our x divided by 8. and equals, so we put our equal sign there, and then that number x increased by 2 is on the right side of the equal sign, x plus 2. Now we're going to solve this equation, get rid of this denominator. We're multiplying both terms, or all three terms, by 8. Now when we do that, on the left side of the equal sign, the 8's will cancel, leaving x. On the right side, 8 times x gives us 8x, 8 times 2 gives us 16. Now we're going to combine these x terms, so we're going to subtract 8x from both sides of the equation. Now when we do that, the 8x will cancel on the right side, leaving 16. Carry down our equal sign, and x minus 8x gives us negative 7x. We'll divide both sides of the equation by negative 7. The negative 7's will cancel on the left side, leaving x equals negative 16/7. The next problem, we have the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 36. We want to find those integers. So again, we use x to represent the unknown number. Since we're told that those numbers are consecutive, that means they're back to back. So example 1, 2, and 3 are consecutive numbers. To get from 1 to 2, we have to add 1. You add 1 each time. To get from 2 to 3, you add 1. But because we're referring to the first number, like if we don't know what the first number is, the number is x. To get from x, the first number, to the second number, we have to add 1. That would be x plus 1. To get from the first number to the third number, we have to add 2. So that becomes x plus 2. This is what you see. X represents the first number. X plus 2 represents the second number. X plus 1 represents the second number. And x plus 2 represents the third number. So we have x for the first number, x plus 1 for the second number, and x plus 2 for the third number. You're told that the sum of those three numbers is 36. So that's why we wrote this equation, x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equals 36. Now we will combine like terms. X, and x gives us 3x. And 1 plus 2 gives us 3. And carry down our equal sign in the 36. Then we're going to subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. We'll get 3x equals 36 minus 3, or 33. Lastly, we'll divide both sides of the equation by 3. We'll get x equals 11. Remember, x is the first number. So to get the second and third numbers, we add 1 and then add 2. So the 3 consecutive numbers are 11, 12, and 13. Twice the sum of 3 consecutive odd integers is 54. So twice the sum, the word twice means to multiply by 2. Now consecutive odd integers, there's a little bit of more distance between them. The first number we use x to represent. Now to go from one odd number to the next odd number, we have to add 2. So that's why we write x plus 2 to represent the second number. And then to go from the first odd number to the third odd number, we have to add 4. So x plus 4 represents the third number. The sum of these three digits, x plus 2 plus x plus 4. And remember, we're twicing that number, so multiplying by 2. First, we're going to combine like terms inside parentheses. X plus x gives us 3x, and 2 plus 4 gives us 6. Now we need to distribute the 2 outside parentheses. 2 times 3x gives us 6x. 2 times 6 gives us 12. We carry down our equal sign and the 54. Now we're going to subtract 12 from both sides of the equation. The 12's cancel on the left side of the equal sign, leaving 6x. Carry down our equal sign and 54. minus 12 gives us 42. Lastly, we're going to divide both sides by 6. So we'll get x equals 7. This is the first number, So to get the second one, x plus 2. To get the third one, x plus 4. The three odd integers are 7, 9, and 11. All right, the perimeter of a rectangle, so we have a rectangle here, is 100 meters. So we're given that information. The perimeter is 100, so equals 100. If the length, the long side, is 12 meters more than the width, we don't know what the width is, so we use W to represent the width. And that length is 12 units more, so W plus 12, this is our length. And remember, opposite sides are equal, so we wrote it twice. And now we're going to find the length and width. So we want to find the length and width. Our short side, we just use W. How do we find the perimeter? Remember, it was 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. That was the formula we wrote from before. Our length is W plus 2, W plus 12. So we have W plus 12 times the 2. We got to distribute the 2 here. 2 times W gives us 2W. 2 times 12 gives us 24. Carry down our plus 2W, our equal sign, and 100. Now we're going to combine like terms. 2W plus 2W gives us 4W. And we subtract 24 from both sides of the equation. When we do that, 24's cancel on the left side. On the right side, 100 minus 24 gives us 76. Lastly, we're going to divide both sides by 4. So we'll get W equals 19. Now remember, W is just the width. We still got to find the length. So to find the length, we would substitute 19 for W and add 12. So 19 plus 12 will give us our length, which is 31 meters. So our length is 31, our width is 19. We're going to draw a triangle and label the interior angles as x, 3x, and x plus 10, and then we're going to find their measures. So here we have our triangle. We labeled our interior angles as 3x, x, and x plus 10. Now what we know about the interior angles of any triangle is their sum equals 180 degrees. All three of the angles inside of any triangle equals 180. So that's what we do, add all three of these angles, x plus 3x plus x plus 10, and we set it equal to 180. We'll combine like terms. On the left side, we have x plus 3x plus x. That gives us 5x. Carry down our plus 10, the equal sign, and 180. Then we're going to subtract 10 from both sides of the equation. The 10s cancel on the left, leaving 5x. Carry down our equal sign. And on the right side, 180 minus 10 gives us 170. We'll divide both sides of the equation by 5. We'll get x equals 34. Now this is just one of our angles. You're asked to find all of the measures. So that angle with x is 34. To get the other two angles, we got to substitute. So we have to multiply 3 times 34. That second angle will be 102 degrees. And then x plus 10, we're substituting 34 here. 34 plus 10 will give us that third angle, which is 44. So here are the three measures. And that concludes the 3.2 note.